The sheriff's office oversees two different agencies that would have a piece of that, which is our emergency management division, as well as our search and rescue division. So our emergency management division does most of the heavy lifting, and that's currently overseen by Lieutenant Nathan Garraby, who is an absolute genius in that world. It's very much interceding with the different fire departments and the Forest Service, and knowing exactly what resources are out there. So I always describe the emergency management as kind of it's a hub and spoke system. So he's the one that brings in all the resources and then pushes the resources out where they're needed. So once fire season starts, he's pretty much married to a cell phone for the most of the summer, and his job is to be the first one out there and figuring out what resources are needed to not only make the neighborhood safe and make sure people get out, but also what resources we need to bring in to support the fire department. We're not firefighters, but we are really good at sorting chaos, and that's what his job is. He's basically a chaos sorter. And so our search and rescue team comes in. They'll do a lot of the evacuation piece. So people who live in those fire areas or the rural part of the county, be familiar with fire season and where the likely fire sources are and deal with them, like if they're around your property, but also be aware of how they can get resources. What does it sound like? What does it look like when an evacuation is going on? Where do you get that information? But most importantly is to subscribe to different alert services. So Deschutes Alerts is one of them. We have access to, and we've used the service in the past where maybe people would get the alert on their phone saying police are looking for a suspect in your neighborhood, lock your doors, turn your lights on. It's the same service. So a lot of our residents use that service now. And if you're not on it, I recommend that you sign up on the website. It works very well. And so if you need resources and made that connection, let's say if you're older and you need help getting fire mitigation and helping getting the fuels off your property, emergency managers will sometimes make those connections for you with fire or with third-party companies. But they start with the prevention piece all the way to what do I do and how do I get out of my house that's burning. Project Wildfire is another one. If you have a neighborhood or if you've ever studied them, visit Project Wildfire's website. You can get to it from the Sheriff's Office website as well, but good old Google should get you there. And they've got great resources for Oregon specific. And then the second piece of that is if you have or you need help identifying fuels on your property, we can help arrange that too for you, either through our fire partners or through our emergency management team. We can find you the resources to at least inspect those things for you. Deschutes Alerts is a great tool. I would recommend signing up for that even outside of fire season because it's a tool that we use year-round. It doesn't have to be fire season. And then lastly, I would say have a plan. Know where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. Have more than one route there because sometimes the route that you used to go into the grocery store every day may not be available to you. And having to know or at least have on a map, how do I get out of my neighborhood if that route is closed or maybe they're all closed. And then having good relationships with your neighbors so they can keep an eye out for whatever reason you're not there.